All right, we've got, all right, Business Owner Moms Edition with Jessica Phillips behind the scenes. We're ready to get going.
Little intro music. Like it.
Hello, welcome. This is Matt Barbie with Time for Success Business Owner Moms Edition. And this is a show where we really dig into what success means in business, life, family, and what the story is, for each of these business owners, and on how they're working on achieving that, whatever stage of business or life they may be in. And I am a speaker, trainer, and coach, and I work with business owners basically create a business that gives them and their families the life that they desire. And that's really the inspiration for the show. So, Jessica, thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thanks for having me. I'm so happy to be here and just share my story with those moms out there. And I just want to give a shout out to moms real quick. And that is basically, moms, you guys just keep doing what you're doing. It's just life, and don't try to be perfect, because that's not what the journey is all about.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah.
And tell us a little bit more about you and your business, and your journey as a mom business owner.
So, kind of give you guys a little insight on me. I graduated with a marketing and visual merchandising degree, and you're sitting here looking at my shirt going, "The exercise coach, that's interesting." Well, you know what? The reason for that is I went in the corporate world, and there was just no passion. There was nothing that was setting my soul on fire.
Yeah.
And I was like, I've got to find something that will actually, I want to wake up every single day and be excited to go to that place. And that's when we found the exercise coach. And what the exercise coach does to me is every single day I get to empower women and men to make a change in their quality of life. And that's what's important to me, because today is today. Tomorrow is a different day. So what are you going to do to change today to make you stronger for tomorrow? And that has to do with your health and, and putting your health first. Because if you don't put your health first, Matt, then you're just going to go down a path you don't want to go down. And that's why that's such a passion to me. Mm-hmm. And that's the reason why I got in this business with my dad, actually, which is so much fun.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, good. Sometimes those experiences are good, sometimes they're tough.
Right.
I'm sure there's a combination, right?
Sure, absolutely.
But it's an interesting perspective that you have, because you're a business owner mom.
Yep.
But then you're also working with your business owner dad.
Yep.
So you can maybe attest to how that looks as well, on both sides of the fence, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So being a mom, I have a sweet boy named Asher who's 5 years old. Mm-hmm. And, you just kind of go with life and what life throws at you. Mm-hmm. I've had many obstacles in health and in my life. And I honestly, I don't remember my son's first year. I don't remember it at all. But I have the pictures and I have the memories in terms of that. So I'll go into that a little bit more. Another reason why, I suffered from lots of numbness and tingling and depression. And to be honest with you, at this point in my life, I should be in a wheelchair. And I'm not, because what I decided was I took my health to the next level, and I decided I'm not going to live this way. I'm going to find a plan, and I'm going to give hope to myself. And that's another reason why I'm so passionate about the exercise coach, is because there is hope out there for everyone. They just have to find what's right for them.
Okay.
So yeah, and then from a standpoint of working with my dad, I'm one of 4 girls. And one of the biggest things that I had said to him, I was like, I want this to be my baby. Because what I do is when I take a baby, I put 100% into it. And so if there were all my sisters getting involved with it, I just couldn't have that complete focus.
Right.
So it's been awesome. I mean, it's been great. There are definitely challenges. He's more the business mind. I'm more the emotional mind. You know, people that are listening to me right now, they're like, yep, absolutely. But you need those platforms in order to run the business.
Yeah.
You need the emotional side, you need the business side, and you need my amazing team.
Yeah.
So
tell me a little bit more. I mean, because obviously the business side versus the emotional side, you know, sometimes there's a little pull between the two, or push with each other.
Push pull. Yeah.
Push pull.
Yeah.
So tell me more about that. How do you and your dad kind of work through it?
In terms of the emotional and the business?
Yeah, like how do you work through those kind of maybe potentially conflicting situations?
Kind of compromising, saying, okay, here's what my thought process on this, here's what your thought process is on this.
Yeah.
Let's kind of work in between and see what works best for both of us. But honestly, in my eyes, it's always in the client's best interest. So that's my that's our main thing, is it's always in the client's best interest.
So if you guys are at, you know, some sort of like impasse, you reorient and say, okay, so if we were to think about what's in the client's best interest, what does that look like? Does that help?
Yeah, in the client's best interest, I mean, it's a matter of, you know, what does the future hold for that particular situation? Yeah. Okay, so if that helps a little bit as far as clarification.
Absolutely. Now, you said before that kind of for the first year, you don't necessarily remember your daughter's son. I'm sorry.
No problem.
Yeah, I get that. Sorry, your son's life and your experiences with them. Can you tell us more a little bit about what that looked like, and you said maybe some depression issues and stuff like that?
Debilitating anxiety, scared to be a mom. Honestly, ladies, still figuring it out every single day. Yeah. And, you know, it's a whole long story, Matt, but in a nutshell, I went from test after test after test. They couldn't figure it out. And then I came back to, you know, more of going back into my subconsciousness and just figuring out, okay, how am I going to get through this? And so I had lots of different tools that brought me to who I am today. Was it maybe just kind of the fear, like you said, of not knowing what to do as a mom? Was that part of it? It definitely played a role, but it would be more of also, it's really how it starts in utero and how you see yourself in the world. So talking about one of the questions that you ask people, what does success look like to you? Right. To me, success is the journey, and to me is how many fails can I hit so I can advance myself to learn more and more and more. Because success is not easy, as we know. I mean, you were talking earlier, joking around about the suit and everything like that. Is that success for that person? Right. But for me, how many fails did that person hit in order for them to get that $25,000 suit? Right. And so that's the journey that I like to see, and that's what success means to me personally. Is because it's not about, in my opinion, it's not about the referrals. It's not about all these different things. It's not about those types of things, which those are fabulous, of course. But it's about, I am going to fail. How am I going to take that failure to the next level? Awesome. I think that's a good viewpoint, because, you know, a lot of people, you know, they see the end journeys of all these, you know, big name speakers and whatnot out there. And you know, it's really hard to connect sometimes when they're wearing that $25,000 suit, you know, and like you say you had kind of a rough journey, but I don't know if I'm feeling it, you know. So it's good to take some time to really think about that and ingest that, and that's part of why the show exists, to kind of share those aspects of it. And to go into that a little bit, as far as going down the rabbit hole, if you will, it's that person, you might look at them and say, you know, they don't have a hard life. You have no clue. You have no clue their story. You have no clue where they came from. You have no clue the obstacles that they got to where they are today.
Right.
And that's so important with the success, is learning about that person before you start judging that person.
Right. Yeah,
So.
absolutely. So you talked a little bit about what success means for you personally. What does success mean for you kind of as a mom and as a business owner? You know, what do those two look like, and how do they differ?
So success as a mom to me is taking each situation and learning from it.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there are days where I'm like, I'm not sure about this. Like, I'm not sure how I'm going to handle this. But I have to say back to myself that, you know, this little boy was put on the earth for me to take care of. And I have to just figure it out. So if it's a matter of, you know, working with your resources or whatever it may be. But hey, every day is not easy at all. And but that's what motherhood is, isn't it? And fatherhood, right? Pretty much. I mean, it's about the experience and the journey, but it's also about teaching those children, you know, with different aspects of life and tools that they could be successful with.
Well, I like what you hit upon there in terms of, like, you have to take your successes and wins and learn from them.
Yeah.
I mean, I was just talking with a friend of mine yesterday, a client, you know, and she was talking about some fears as it related to, you know, her journey as a mom and kind of some next stages in life and whatnot. And but I think that's for all of us. You know, we for whatever reason we kind of look at like our childhood and we're like, well, I'm going to try to be better. I'm going to try to do better. But, you know, we don't necessarily know what that looks like. But learning from what you do is huge.
It's massive. It's massive.
Yeah.
And it's a matter of how you look at failure.
Yeah.
You know?
So let's say you've had a contentious moment with the little one, and maybe you start. I mean, so how do you take a second and reflect on that? Like, okay, what did I do well? What could I have done better? What does that look like for you?
For me, honestly, it's journaling that night.
Ah, journaling. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I journal at night, every night, and I just kind of look at my day and say, okay, how did I handle this situation?
Yeah.
Would I handle this situation differently next time, or what did I learn from that situation? So it's just a matter of and it's also another thing is putting yourself in that person's shoes.
Yeah.
Right? So you might get agitated or something like that, you know, towards our child needing something, but at the same and we're busy, you know, is on the computer typing an email or whatever it is.
Right.
But if you put yourself in that kid's shoes, what are they seeing?
Right.
And one thing that, you know, I think is so important is staying in that present moment as much as you possibly can. And that's actually something I'm learning this year. I mean, I'm really focusing on it. I'm really, really focusing on trying to be as present as possible. Because as we know, social media can eat us up really quickly, and we can, you know, be scrolling through our newsfeed and everything else, and all of a sudden it's time for our kid to go to sleep and we've only spent 20 minutes with them.
Yeah.
So, and you're not going to get that 20 minutes back.
Right.
So.
I mean, I know I've been guilty of that, and it's a struggle. I mean, I'm sure for anybody who's watching, that it's a struggle, because I mean, anybody who's watching right now has a Facebook account.
Yes, exactly.
So, don't stop watching.
Yeah,
I mean,
please,
keep watching.
Yes,
in
because
the
you're
moment.
learning.
Right.
You're learning.
Right. Yeah.
You're learning from
that. So you take the time to reflect with the journal. Does that seem to help you in other areas, like when you struggle with your father and the business relationship, when you struggle with your husband? I mean, is it just a good time for reflection and reprocessing?
It's a huge time for reflection and reprocessing.
Yeah.
Huge time, because you're writing out the scenario and then figuring out, you know, what did I do right in this situation? What did I do wrong in this situation? How am I going to change this situation? Because there's those things where you say something like, ooh, I shouldn't have said that. Well, guess what? You already said it.
Right.
So, but if you're journaling about it, you know, it takes it out of it. it's not so hard to reflect on.
Yeah.
Because of the fact you're journaling on it and getting it out of your system and moving on to the next day.
Okay.
So that's just, it's something that really has helped me. And yeah.
So you encourage basically journaling at like the end of the day.
And honestly, some people say do it at your start of your day.
Yeah.
I have another routine that I do. I like to do it at the end of the day because it's more of reflection rather than trying to figure out what the day is going to look like.
Right.
So.
Okay, that's good. That's good. So you have a morning routine too. What does your morning routine look like?
I love to meditate.
That's good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I am a meditator, and I'm just the type of person that I have to get myself ready for the day emotionally.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something that I do.
Good.
Yeah.
So, going through the depression and those issues with the first year of your son's life, I'm sure that's given you an incredible perspective on the struggles that he has.
Mm-hmm.
How do you kind of incorporate in that in working with him whenever he's going through stuff? Because again, you said it's kind of success is about the journey, about those failures. Are there certain phrases that you use, or is there a certain way that you always kind of have a discussion whenever your son's frustrated and had a difficult time with something that maybe the audience can use in their life?
Yeah, I mean, I think for him, it's you need to explain to him you didn't fail at this.
Mm-hmm.
What did you learn from the situation? And that's powerful. What did you learn from this situation? How are you feeling during this situation? Because when kids get upset, they're obviously telling you something.
Yeah. So
you need to stop and ask those questions. And I mean, a simple question of what is making you upset right now?
Yeah.
What triggered that for you? Instead of, yelling at them even more, because guess what? They've already turned that off. They've already, they're not listening to you.
Yeah.
So it's really meeting the child where the child's at that particular time. And it's not always easy. I'm not sitting here saying that, oh my God, I'm really good at this, because guess what, guys? Last weekend, I cried for 2 days straight. Okay? We'll just be completely honest here as motherhood. But what it taught me was a different tool to use with him.
Mm-hmm.
And it taught me that the situation that happened, which I'm not sharing, the situation that happened, it wasn't as bad of a situation as I thought it was going, that I wasn't thinking that it was.
Yeah.
So it's just, it's about stop judging yourself and just working with the child and figuring out what the child needs at that particular time.
Sure.
Just like you do with anybody, meeting them where they're at. You can't say something that they're, you're on one side of the bridge and they're on the other. You got to meet somewhere in the middle.
Right.
So.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, how long have you been married?
Let's see. We have 8 years.
8 years.
Yeah, but we dated in 7th grade.
What?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
No, like consistently from 7th grade
on?
No.
I mean, he had to dump me for the soccer player, but I want him back.
But you're over that now, right?
I'm totally over it.
Totally over
Totally
Maybe
over
just
it.
a little, but no.
Nothing.
You're over it. Oh, okay,
totally
good.
over
All right,
it.
Good.
Totally over it. Yeah. So, very special relationship. Very. We kind of knew our parents kind of knew from the beginning. We just had to figure it out.
Right.
So we had to go down all those people that were like, yeah, no. Oh, yes. So finally figuring out that the one. So. Right.
Yeah. And you learn from your failures, right?
Exactly. It's all about failure, guys. All about failure, because that's how you're going to get the life that you want.
Yeah.
So
you guys have had quite a history. You've had a lot of learning experiences, but I'm sure having multiple locations, being in business with your father, just in whatever he does professionally. I mean, there's still going to be life stressors.
Sure.
Right.
Absolutely.
So, what are some tips and tricks that you guys use to protect your relationship and make sure that you guys are working through whatever conflicts, whatever might be happening?
So basically, the biggest thing that my dad and I are working on right now is outside of work and outside of the cell phone, when we're actually together as a family, we don't talk about work. And if we have to talk about work, we say, okay, you've got 5 minutes to talk about work, and that's it. Because,
just get it out.
You know, having that timer is so key. Because then what ends up happening if you don't have that boundary there,
right,
is what your relationships just work.
Right.
You don't want that.
Right.
I mean, he was my dad first. I want to protect that relationship first.
Right. So you're talking about your dad. Now, is your husband involved at all with the business?
He's not.
Okay.
No, it's my baby.
All right. That's fair. That's fair.
He's a great supporter, but it's my baby.
Yeah.
My baby.
Yeah. Now, does your husband have a business as well? Does he work for somebody else?
So he does work for someone else.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So
cool.
yeah.
So you're the business is your baby, right?
Yes.
And your dad lets you, kind of basically run it as your baby, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he just kind of offers some input back and forth, right?
It's my baby, but I have a very, very supportive team.
That's great.
Yes.
So tell me more about that team. What does that team look like?
So we have teams in each location.
Okay.
And so they're the ones, obviously we're working on, making sure that we're all coming together and once again in the client's best interest in what we're doing.
Great.
But it's just important to have that team behind you. You can't do it on your own.
Right.
You can't. So they're amazing. Shout out to my team.
So what kind of things do you guys do in terms of, because it sounds to me like you really work together on team development, right? What kind of things do you guys do?
It's all work in progress, but we have started this year. We're doing team building activities. So every 3 months, we actually just went to an escape room.
Oh, cool.
On Saturday, and we escaped the wizard. So that was pretty cool.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yes.
Thank goodness.
Yes, we escaped him.
Didn't lose anybody?
No, didn't lose anybody this time. Yes.
Thank goodness.
Yes.
Awesome. So, what are some other team building activities that was this the first team building activity?
No, this was.
Oh, okay. I don't want to spoil any future ones.
Yeah, no future ones.
I don't want to spoil that for anybody.
Well, the biggest thing with team building is getting everyone together and asking them what they want to do for team building.
Yeah.
So
that's. So you guys already have a plan that you guys have shared what you're going to do in the future.
In a sense, we're still working on it. We've got a couple of different things that we're thinking of doing.
Yeah. What kind of ideas have been kind of thrown around?
We want to go to Topgolf. Why not?
Of course.
Yeah,
Topgolf. Yeah, that's very popular.
Kind of amazing. And these axe throwing, we should probably do that too.
Right.
So it's just it's just a matter of finding the picking a coach and saying, okay, what's your interest? What do you want to do? Because each person has different interests, and the escape room might not be of interest to somebody, but Topgolf, somebody might be all in. So you just, once again, customizing, working with that person where they're at.
So that way it makes it a little bit more inclusive, right?
Correct.
Everybody kind of has some input and some ideas and something that they might enjoy. And
also for team building, we just, we're starting what's called lead trainer meetings. And then we're also doing staff meetings, so just making sure everyone's on the same page because we're not all together at all times.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Do you try to bring everybody together, or do you do video conference to make those?
No, we don't do that. We like the conference table, the old school, face to face, that kind of thing.
Everybody together, yeah. That's pretty old school.
It's very old school, but it's good.
So we've only got a few minutes left.
Yes.
I'd love for you to, again, just kind of share with the audience a little bit more about the types of people that you work with and kind of what you do and what kind of sets you apart and how people can reach out and get a hold of you if they want more information.
Yeah, so the exercise coach, we have our own proprietary equipment. It's done more in a studio setting. We're geared towards busy professionals, people that don't like the gym scene, they're afraid of getting hurt. Those physical limitations, we don't want to keep that in the way. We really, we work with a lot of people that are 55 plus that have, hip replacement, knee replacement, you name it, replacement. And, we don't want them, with those limitations, we don't want that to stop them from getting a better quality of life.
Yeah.
So our focus is 2 20-minute workouts a week. And the accountability is there as well because we give instant digital feedback every step of your exercise, and you can actually see how you're doing on screen. So it's like a video game. It's pretty cool. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
And then it gives you, the results at the end so you can see actually how you're progressing. So, it's not a matter of the person, just the workout. It's a matter of the whole package and figuring out and customizing it towards that individual where they're at. So that's one of the biggest things that we focus on. So yeah, it's pretty awesome. 2 20-minute workouts a week. What more can you ask for? So if you're interested, please head on to www.exercisecoach.com. Mention this radio, this interview. Excuse me, can't talk. And we do 2 free sessions, but we'll give you $50 off as a special gift to help your quality of life this year.
Well, thank you on behalf of all the listeners.
Yes.
And I guess it also works for the podcast or Facebook Live.
Absolutely.
All right, good.
Yes,
good.
yes,
awesome.
yes,
Awesome.
yes.
Well, I really appreciate you coming on the show today and really just sharing your story and really unpacking that. This has been Time for Success, Business Owner Moms Edition. And again, this is Matt Barbie. I'm a speaker, trainer, and coach. If you'd like to know more about how to create a business that gives you the life that you desire, please give me a call. 314-441-5423. Thank you. Thanks, Jessica.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for watching.